Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Taylor, the owner of Allure Event Planning. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you're new here, please hit subscribe so you can see my future upcoming videos. And if you like this video, be sure to like. Today we're talking about ways to save money with your wedding. I know that a lot of couples have been experiencing turbulent times with COVID and financial situations, so a lot more couples are looking at ways to save a little bit of money with their wedding. So I've got 20 ideas for you. Take what you think you can use, leave what you can't, and just get a little bit creative. So let's hop right into it. So the first way to save a little money for your wedding day is to consider a different bar package other than a top tier full bar. This might be beer or wine, or it might also be Xing out some of the extra mixers. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of different mixers you would need if you want to do a full bar. A nice way to kind of still have liquor at your wedding, it might be to cut down on some of the mixers. Often you can get away with a water dispenser and some lemonade and iced tea. That will make most people happy. The second alcohol kind of related suggestion I have is to cut the champagne toast. Like, just totally exit out. If your venue or your caterer makes you pay for the champagne toast, just don't do it. People will toast with the drink that they have. 3 is to ditch the aisle runner. Even if you're not trying to save money, you should probably still ditch the aisle runner. They get caught on shoes, they're really not great on grass, they kind of just move around and stuff. They're not worth whatever you're gonna pay for them. My 4th suggestion is to cut down on manpower for serving food. So let me explain a little bit. Every time you have servers serving your food to your guests, it's going to cost more because your caterer has to pay those servers per hour, and there's gratuities and everything like that, and the cost adds up really, really fast. So think about doing things like a buffet instead of a plated dinner. There's a lot less man hours there. And also definitely consider doing just stationed hors d'oeuvres instead of passed. It's nice to have hors d'oeuvres, and if that fits in your budget, that's fantastic. But you really don't have to do them passed. 5 is do a DIY photo booth, or don't have a photo booth at all. You can easily get one of those Polaroid camera things, like the new ones that they're making, and have like a scrapbook from Michael's and some glue sticks, and have people glue in their photos and write things, and have some like DIY props. Or you can just ixnay it all together and have people tag your wedding hashtag so you get some of those more candid shots. Another great way to save money is to make signs yourself. So if you need a sign for a card box or ceremony this way, try and DIY those signs yourself. If you know someone that has a Cricut, that's super helpful, or you can use stencils to paint on different surfaces to make your signs. My next suggestion I'm a big fan of. It's really great for the environment to reuse wedding supplies and also kind of recycle and upcycle. So I highly suggest thrifting some of your wedding decor items. Great candidates for this are card boxes, vases, frames, things like that are readily available at estate sales. That might not be a super great option during COVID, but if you can get to some yard sales maybe. Also, use your friends' stuff. If you have friends that have gotten married recently or are going to get married around the same time as you, see if there's stuff you guys can cross over or share. Another option to recycle things is to check out your local wedding swaps. I know in Buffalo we have a wedding swap Facebook group, so you can sell or swap decor items with people. Number 8 is a very clever suggestion. Make sure you're booking local vendors to the area where you're having your wedding. By booking local vendors, you're going to have people who are probably more familiar with your venue and the area and the different intricacies, but they're also not going to charge a travel fee or hotel fees, which is going to drastically cut the price of how much your vendors cost. If you're up to it, a really, really, really good way to save like thousands of dollars sometimes is to book a Friday or a Sunday. By picking a wedding date that is off season or on an odd day of the week is going to save you a ton of money. In that same vein, if you're willing to get married off season, that is a fantastic way to save a lot of money too. And sometimes it ensures that more people can come to your wedding because they're not as busy as they are during peak wedding season. Number 11 is don't order a toss bouquet if it's not included for free in your florals. You can just use a bridesmaid. Number 12 is be smart with your florals. There's a lot of money saving options here. The first one is to make sure that your florals do double duty. This means that if you have decor for the ceremony, make sure it's brought to the reception and reused again. You can also reuse bridesmaids bouquets as centerpieces at your tables. The second part of this is to make sure that you're using in-season flowers. In-season flowers are going to cost a lot less than things that need to be imported because they're out of season. And the third suggestion is to cut down on things like corsages and hair pieces and things like that. Number 13 is skip the hotel block. Just let your family do it for themselves. Number 14 is skip the grand exit hoopla. If you're okay with it, just forego the sparklers, forego the bubbles, forego the confetti, and just have an exit. Another thing that I see a lot more couples doing lately is forgoing on fancy transportation. Usually transportation companies have a minimum number of hours that you have to book their services for, so that cost adds up really quickly. So if you're careful to make sure that you assign a responsible person to be your driver for you and the bridal party, or you and your fiance, or you're able to use Uber or Uber XL in your area, it might be a really great cost-saving solution. Number 16 is to ask your videographer to give you only the raw footage. It's going to cost a lot less for them to just give you the raw footage because the bulk of the time commitment for them is to edit the video footage. And that doesn't mean that later on you can't ask them to edit the raw footage for you when you have a little bit more saved. Number 17 is consider non-traditional wedding food. If you love brunch, maybe have brunch food at your wedding. If you're doing a more casual barn style wedding, consider doing a picnic theme or a barbecue theme. It's gonna save you a lot more money. Number 18 is don't make the post office mad, because if you make the post office mad, you might have to buy a whole nother set of stamps to resend out your invitations. So make sure you weigh your invitations and just note that they're within the size requirements. Another way to save money is to have a guest RSVP online, because traditionally when you send out your invitations, if you have them mail you something back, it's nice to have a stamp on there so that they can more easily send it back. If you have them RSVP online, you forgo that cost. Number 19 is skip the extra paper. You really don't need to have menus, programs, or even save the dates if you're really trying to cut costs. Those are just some extra paper things that are unnecessary. If you don't want to forgo those things completely, you can do digital save the dates, you can do one menu card kind of framed on each table, or you can do half the number of programs for your guests and have people share them. And number 20 is one of my favorites. In lieu of favors, do a donation to your favorite charity. It can be often a lot more cost effective than spending $2 to $5 per person that's coming to your wedding to just make a donation to a charity that you and your fiance feel a pull to. I hope some of these tips have helped. Let me know in the comments what your favorite one is, or if you have a super great idea for how to save money for your wedding. I would love to hear from you guys. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Have a fantastic day. Bye.